Does Batman have shared rights? It's an interesting question. Check it out.
Hi, John. This is Daniel from Arkansas. I read a CBR article that says that Robert Pattinson is going to appear as Bruce Wayne, but not as Batman because of some rights issue with Fox and Disney. I'm confused about this because I thought, like, Warner Brothers has the Batman rights. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Thanks, and bring on the filthy.
All right, Daniel, thanks a lot for calling that in. And yeah, there's been some people wondering because there's a question going around about whispers over the years that Warner Brothers has not been allowed to have a live action Batman on screen. You have to correct me if I'm wrong, because I did not watch I've watched a little bit of Teen Titans season 2. I kind of tapped out on the show, not Teen Titans, Titans. I tapped out after season 1, but I remember they brought in the guy from Game of Thrones to be Bruce Wayne, but I don't believe you ever saw him as Batman. People who watched season 2 of Titans might be able to tell me differently. Back in Gotham, you never actually saw Batman. There might have been like some little thing in the final shot of the series. So there's been some speculation that Warner Brothers has not been allowed to use. Now, this comes from the fact that way back in the day, going back to the late 60s, so before my time, but that once Warner Brothers kind of got a hold of the rights of Batman, there was one exception, and that was the Adam West Batman TV series, and that the image and likeness and all that kind of stuff did not transfer with it. Now, this comes to us from the folks over at CBR when they write the following. This is interesting. Kinney National Service, Inc. purchased DC Comics, then known as National Periodical Publications, in the late 1960s, along with Warner Brothers, effectively becoming Warner Communications by 1972. This purchase helped secure the TV and film distribution rights to the vast library of DC characters, except for one thing: the 1960s Batman TV series starring Adam West, which was produced by 20th Century Fox before the Warner deal happened. In 2009, Warner Brothers entered into talks with Fox, the estate of Adam West, and other parties for the rights to the character from the 1960s Batman publication, the actor's likeness and future of the Bat on TV, according to Variety. The result is likely why Gotham aired on the Fox network during its run. Still, Batman never appeared except for the final shot of the show, something that was justified as a creative decision. Now, so basically, this whole thing going back to those days was that there was still this confusion, complication. And the word is right now is that Robert Pattinson will be appearing in the upcoming Penguin series on HBO Max, which, by the way, I am so excited for that Penguin series. Colin Farrell as Penguin was just chef's kiss. I loved him in that. I love the world of Gotham that Matt Reeves created to get back into the criminal underbelly of it. Very excited. And there's been talk that Robert Pattinson would appear in the show, but not as Batman, as Bruce Wayne, which I like because this is supposed to be a Penguin series. Keep the focus on Penguin. So have Bruce Wayne show up, but maybe not a Batman. But that has gotten a lot of people saying that, well, the reason he can't appear as Batman is because a live action Batman can't appear on TV, at least not by Warner Brothers. And that's why they've always tiptoed around it. Now, this was also talked about on Twitter. There's a site followed by a bunch of people called The Art of Batman, and we can go over and check this out. And they put out a tweet that said, Robert Pattinson might not appear as Batman in the Penguin series, but can still appear as Bruce Wayne or the Drifter. The TV rights for Batman are caught up in a legal limbo involving Fox, Disney, and a trio of mergers. Okay. So, and they're not the only ones talking about this. So the kind of narrative that was starting to go around is that Pattinson will appear in the show, but it will not be as Batman because their TV rights are still caught up in limbo. Are the TV rights, in fact, still caught up in limbo? Well, as he is off to do, James Gunn decided to reply to that and simply said, this is not true. He also put out another tweet that basically said, the rumors about TV rights still being in flux are not true. As a matter of fact, I think I've got his actual tweet. Yeah, the rights issue he then specified is not true. So apparently the rights issues has been settled. Okay. So if James Gunn has now shot down the rumor that Pattinson can't appear as Batman on TV, then why not? Why not do Batman? I think there are two reasons you don't have Batman on the Penguin series. Number one, as I already mentioned, I think you want to keep your focus on Penguin. It's Penguin show. Make it a Penguin show. But number two is something that DC used to believe back before 2010, which was characters like Superman and Batman are your most precious commodities. You should not dilute them by having them pop up all over the place. But I'll tell you what, the Superman character has been kind of diluted a little bit. How many Supermen are there running around? And I kind of wonder, and there's been a criticism about even modern DC that there's too much of a reliance on Batman. So number one, I think you want to keep the focus on Penguin. Number two, I think, listen, let's not dilute Batman. Let's have him like fine china. You take it out for when the big guests come over. You take it out for the feature films and all that. And sure, still keep him in the animated world, but you do it that way. So that's my take on it. Rob, you saw this whole drama. I mean, the questions and the discussions about who owns the television rights for Batman have been around a long time. Apparently, James Gunn addressed it. What's your take on all this?
Well, I mean, it seems plausible because, you know, they made a feature film of the Adam West Batman as well.
Did that ever play theatrically? Did that play theatrically?
It was a theatrical
feature.
Yeah,
I always saw it on TV. I never knew if it was in theaters.
Yeah, it was a theatrical feature, theatrically released feature. And then there's the TV show. So I could believe that that might have been the case. I mean, if James Gunn says that's simply not true, I would tend to agree with him only because he has no reason to hide that. It's an interesting take. I mean, I just think that they don't, you know, the Batman franchise theatrically is very lucrative. And I think the idea of not Superman has been less so. There's been a lot more Batman movies. The Christopher Nolan movies proved that Batman is $1 billion franchise. It can be. Just because Robert Pattinson's didn't make $1 billion doesn't mean that the franchise isn't worth that. So I think by putting him on TV, it does kind of dilute that brand. And that makes more sense to me. But I would imagine that they fixed these issues. I mean, why would you be able to show Bruce Wayne and not Batman? I mean, how are they different? I mean, obviously the iconography is different, but technically, if you show Bruce Wayne, you are showing Batman, aren't you? Because it's just, I mean,
it could be one of those same fine lines that, like, okay, they can't make a Hulk movie, but they can still have Hulk in other people's movies. Like maybe it's one of those
they just can't
blurry
distribute
lines.
A Hulk
they can't
movie.
They can't distribute a Hulk movie, but you can still use Hulk in other people's movies and distribute those movies. So maybe it's like a blurry line.
It could be like that, but I've just never heard of that before until now. But I think it's more along the lines of Batman has been, he's a prestige animated character, and Batman is a $1 billion live action character as well. And like you said, I mean, how many times are they going to make Superman shows? And there has yet to be $1 billion Superman movie.
It's true. Let me ask you this. In this report, it should be made clear that nobody officially is saying that Robert Pattinson will not appear as Batman.
Right.
That's just what everybody's speculating. Let me ask you, like the assumption here seems to be that Pattinson will show up, which also, by the way, we don't know 100% is true or not. The assumption is Robert Pattinson will show up in the Penguin, but only as Bruce Wayne. And we've been sitting here discussing and debating about why he'll appear as Bruce Wayne and not Batman. But what do you think the chances are that we could see him pop up that we could see the Dark Knight in the Penguin series?
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me only because it's for HBO. And if it was a network show, I'd say no way. But with HBO being the prestige channel that it is, it could very well happen. I could see it happen, but not if it was on network television.
I mean, it's along the lines of Disney Plus, right? And their Marvel characters. So I don't see why HBO Max couldn't do the same thing for DCU.
But again, they haven't been putting their big Marvel characters on the Disney Plus shows, right? We haven't seen Spider-Man show up in a Disney Plus show. We haven't seen Thor show up in a Disney Plus show. So I'm wondering what Warner Brothers and ultimately James Gunn and Peter Safran's strategy for that is going to be moving forward. I don't see any just in having him pop up here and there, but I can understand the philosophy that you want to keep him rare because you increase his value that way. We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. If saving more and spending less is one of your top goals for 2023, why are you still paying insane amounts of money every month for your phone bill? Switching to Mint Mobile is the easiest way to save this year. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you order from home and save a ton with phone plans starting at just $15 a month. You guys know I made the switch over to Mint Mobile a while ago. The process couldn't have been easier, and I can't believe that I am spending less than a third of what I was spending on one of the other major carriers before. By going online only and eliminating the traditional costs of retail, Mint Mobile passes the significant savings on to you. All plans come with unlimited talk, text, and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and switch easily in minutes with eSIM. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea.
But I mean, Penguin, Colin Farrell is a movie actor, Academy Award nominated, so the show does have a certain level of prestige.
That's true.
Out of the gate.
I thought even well before this article that that Bruce Wayne would appear in this, because I think he's going to be dealing with the fallout with that fund. And I think we're going to see now the difference of he kind of hid away the Bruce Wayne for like 2 years, that persona, just to be Batman only. And then he realized, wait, there's value of being Bruce Wayne to this city.
Right.
And restoring that fund.
Are we getting spoilers right now?
Well,
from
okay,
the
you know
director
what?
himself?
I'm sorry, I'm actually getting a call. I got to go.
Guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this whole notion about whether or not we're going to see him pop up in this show? Like, are we going to, if he does pop up in the show, by the way, bring up my screen for a second. Now, for total coincidence, bring up your shot. What do you think the chances are that we are indeed going to get Robert Pattinson? And do you think it'll just be as Bruce Wayne in the Penguin series? Do you think we might actually see him in the cowl in that one? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.